This is a 1989 Macintosh SE30, and despite being the most powerful and expandable black and white compact Mac that Apple ever built, it's impossible to run Doom on. Because, well, it only has a 1-bit black and white display, and Doom needs 256 colors. Well, today, thanks to this impossible mess of purpley wires and circuitry, I'm pretty sure we're gonna make history. So if you're excited by the prospect of the worst possible way to play Ultimate Doom for Mac, stay tuned. And if you've ever said to yourself, you know, this game has way too many frames per second, how can we play it worse? I hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel. So this wonderfully yellowing beige box is a 1989 Macintosh SE30, and we've done quite a lot with SE30s on this channel, including some pretty ridiculous upgrades. We'll talk more about that a little later, but today we're tackling something that's generally been seen as not upgradable. When I say black and white, it's not black and white like an old school TV set. It's literally black and white. Every pixel can either be black or white, no shades of gray, just a true 1-bit display. Now, there are ways to get color out of this thing, like several companies made video cards back in the day that were compatible with it, which could display all sorts of glorious color on an external display. But there was one company who made a video card, plus additional neckboard circuitry, to give the SE30's internal display 256 shades of color, which is, well, 256 shades of gray because this is a black and white CRT. The only problem is that upgrade, the Micron Exceed, is nearly unobtainable. Well, enter these super smart boffins of the 68K MLA forums. Bowl, along with Cheese Straws and Geek Dot, have built the impossible. A wonderful piece of enthusiast engineering and reverse engineering, because this isn't actually a clone of the Micron Exceed. This is something different. This is actually based on a 4Mac card that they bundled with their Pro Nitron monitors back in the day, which would drive them at 1024 by 768 at 8-bit color, and it's built around this TMS 34061 video controller that's found on a lot of old video cards. I'm actually taking this info from the thread on building this on the 68K MLA forums, which I will link down below because it's a really interesting build log and reverse engineering log about how this card came to be. But the most clever thing about this is that it's paired with a clone of the Micron Exceed's neck board, which it's kind of been hacked to work with. So this card is outputting what the 4Mac card would have output back in the day, except it's sending it to the internal Micron Exceed neckboard replacement instead of an external monitor. Okay, so I have no idea if this is going to work. Well, I mean, I'm sure this card is going to work because it's built by the best of the best, but Ultimate Doom wants 256 colors. And this grayscale card is going to give us 256 shades of gray. Although, I think the machine might think that it's actually 256 colors. And well, actually, you might already know if this is going to work, because if it does, I'm sure I'm going to put Doom running on this thing in the thumbnail. But don't tell me. I don't want any spoilers. Break in the fourth wall. Anyway, let's get this thing installed in the SE30 and see what happens. Right after this word about today's sponsor, PCBWay. Not only does PCBWay offer high-quality PCB prototyping and production, but they also offer on-site PCB assembly, and they can source some of the components with their turnkey service. Building a project like this would be nearly impossible in the days before professional PCB fabrication houses like PCBWay. And even beyond PCBs, PCBWay offers things like 3D printing, all sorts of different fabrication, including CNC machining, injection molding, and even sheet metal work. So if you have any PCB needs or need to build just about anything, I hope you'll give PCBWay.com a try. All right, so installing this stuff is actually pretty straightforward. This lovely, complicated purple wiring harness actually replaces the 2 wire bundles already in here, tapping into the power going to the motherboard and of course the power going to the original neck board. Oh, and before I forget, I should mention here that working with the analog board and the CRT here can be dangerous because this is basically a giant capacitor. Old neck board versus new neck board. Pretty cool. Old wiring bundle. Now let's see how this thing goes. All right, first connection is the one with all the wires, which goes into the analog board. And then the other connector that has the same connector but less wires goes into the logic board. Just like so. Now the video card itself slots into the only expansion slot on the motherboard. Video card connected, like so. This connector also goes to the analog board. Install one purple grounding cable up here. I'll put the other one, I guess, under a screw right here. And now the party trick, the CRT neck board. So I will gingerly slide this onto the CRT. Oh, it is quite a bit tighter than the stock board. Oh, ow. Those solder points are sharp. Look at that. Look at this purple goodness. Time for first power up of what is hopefully the holy grail of compact Macs. It chimed. That's good. Oh, it's in grayscale. Look at it. Oh, the screen's geometry and brightness is a bit off, but look at it. I can't believe it. This is the holy grail of compact Macs. Well, almost. Okay, let's see. What does monitors say? Yeah, look. See, we can choose Gray's 256, which gives us a black and white Apple icon up here, or we can tell it we're running colors. I have a feeling that we can run Doom. All right, now it's worth noting that the system requirements for Doom are a 68040 processor, a missing necessary QuickTime software music media handler. Okay. Oh my God, look! What in the world? That's grayscale Doom. Uh-oh. Oh, it's trying. Look, it like went off the side of the screen here. I don't think it likes this resolution, which is, of course, a weird resolution, being only 512 by 342. Oh my God, the menu's there. It's barely readable because it's rendering black over this. Oh, and there's audio. All right, here it is. The kind of hard to make out grayscale Doom experience on a 68030 compact Mac that should not be able to run Doom. Oh God. Look at those frames. Oh, we are running at frames per minute here. Good Lord. I do have something that we can do about this HUD coming off of the screen, I think. But we're going to have to pull the card back out again. Hang on. On our card here, actually right next to the geek dot corner, there is a jumper which sets the screen resolution. The default resolution is 512 by 342 on a Macintosh SE30, but we can set it for 512 by 384. And that's also really crazy to up the resolution on our SE30. Yeah, look, how cool is that? We're definitely running at a taller screen resolution here because these extensions no longer overlap the little startup window here. That's amazing. Not only is this grayscale, but it's also at an impossible resolution for this computer. That is so freaking cool. Alright, so I've dimmed the lights because Doom is still a little bit difficult to see in this grayscale without adjusting the monitor at least. But yeah, look at that. We do have more of the HUD visible, although it's still not quite right. I don't think Doom ever thought it would be running at this resolution, especially not Mac Doom. But it's still quite a slideshow. Of course, we can crank down the screen size here. Play Doom on a postage stamp. Oh yeah, just look how glorious. I can't even see what's going on. Okay, so the video card works beautifully. I am blown away. But the otherwise stock SE30 really isn't up to the task of playing Doom. But that's okay, I have a solution for that too. I think it's time we revisit an old friend. And just what is this wacky, transparent looking compact Mac, you may be asking yourself. And well, this here is a machine that's been around the channel for quite a long time. It was once known as the Cursed Mac, but in the past few years, we've put every conceivable upgrade and hack in here, save for a video card. I'm talking 68040 processor upgrade, also made by Bowl. We've hacked in a brand new modern power supply, and the clear case is from the incomparable Mac Effects. It even has a slot loading CD-ROM drive. And now it's gonna have grayscale. Okay, so now we've got a real tower of power to install. This is the riser card with built-in Ethernet card from Bowl. Okay, here is the actual Ethernet. Next up, we have our 68040 processor upgrade, which goes off of the Ethernet riser card at an angle and sits on top of a 3D printed bracket I made. Boy, that's a tight squeeze. I'm glad I put a beefy heatsink on that thing, because there's not a lot of room in there. All right, and now from the top pass-through port, our video card. The cable for which just barely makes it. And look at that. Nope, look, I forgot to plug in Ethernet. Son of a gun. All right. Everything is now connected, and there has never been a denser 68K compact Mac than this. Good Lord. All right, well, there's only one thing left to do, and that is attempt to power up what is certainly the world's most upgraded Macintosh SE30. It chimed. I am quite nervous. Okay, good. We have screen, we have display. Oh yeah, here we are in glorious grayscale, and we can actually crank the brightness up more on this machine. Running in 68040 mode, and I tinkered with the geometry a little bit. I didn't get it quite right. I have to come down a little bit more, but that's okay, because we can try out Ultimate Doom 68040 grayscale style. I mean, I'm really excited for this. I don't have high hopes for any sort of reasonable speed, but I sure am excited. Looks much better on this screen. All right. Here we go. Hey, look at that. It's playable. I mean, playable in air quotes, but it works. Look at that. Oh, glorious frames per second. At least one or two. It's like, it's kind of like watching an e-ink screen refresh. You can see how the software refreshes the screen from top to bottom. All right, let's make this screen size a little smaller here. Totally playable. I would have played this back in the day on this extremely impossible 1989 machine. Die already, imp man. Jeez. This is going great. Okay, well, there's no music, but I think I have a fix for that. No, never mind. That's enough of that. So how incredible is that? We have Doom running on a black and white compact Mac with almost reasonable frame rates. And yes, I know it's technically not history in of itself just getting Doom to run, because I think JDW is the one who actually set that historical record. But the real history I think we've set here is this machine, the world's most upgraded SE30. But if you'd like to see this machine in person, I'm definitely bringing it to VCF East this year, which is actually just a few weeks away. Where for the third year running, I've got a table with Steve from Mac84 and Mike from Mike's Mac Shack, now known as Mike's Mess. But I hope you had as much fun today as I did messing with this thing. And if you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more shenanigans like this, please subscribe down below. And thank you very much for watching. And a special thanks to Alex Hoffman, Camilo Noseda, Chris Allegretta, Chris Biggs, Chris Calderon, Chris Nelson, Control-Alt-Reese, Daniel Hubbard, Greg Hrutke, Jason Pepez, Justin Hemmings, Justin Reed, Lyle Truid, Michael Mulhern, Paul Spencer, Ryan, Scott Thompson, Sutek, Tom Woodfin, and Unknown Soldier 41, who are my highest tiered patrons and all of my Patreon supporters for helping make these videos possible.